Welcome to
Tea Time with the Judges.
We are your hosts,
Dr. James Judge and Dr.
Kalie Judge.
What do you think our topic is about today?
It's all about exercise.
About exercise. It's essential number 4.
Oxygen and lean muscle.
And our goal today is to help you utilize some tips and tricks. I always say that word, but utilize tips and tricks to help you implement exercise into your life, implement movement into your life. And a mentor of mine used to say that life is motion, and without motion, you do not have life. So essential number 4 actually encompasses all other 5 essentials. All 5 essentials it has to do with, right? It has to do with the brain. It has to do with nerve supply. It has to do with quality nutrition. It has to do with oxygen and lean muscle, obviously, and it has to deal with
some things so that we can you can get the biggest benefit out of your time spent working out.
Yeah, so if you know somebody that needs to start working out, or if you know that you like this information and someone needs to hear it out there, like it and share it, this video. We want to get it to as many people as we can. So what are we going to start with today, Dr. Kalie?
Well, my biggest question here is, why do we work out? Most people associate working out with losing weight or just, easily just getting fit. And there's so much just more about working out. Like you said, it encompasses the 5 essentials. And so can you just run through the hormones that are produced and released and that go through your system when you're doing different exercises or workouts or things like that, or why it's important for that?
Yeah, it just really depends on the type of workout you're doing.
Exactly.
If I'm lifting 225 pounds on my back doing a squat, there's a bunch of testosterone that's being produced from the muscle contraction in my legs, but if I'm running half marathon as we did in February this year, it's a completely different chemical production or release that you have going on. So and what we don't want to do here today is get in the fight with this is better than this or this is better than this. My real goal in life is to be good at it all, okay? And I don't want to be a perfect at running, period. I want to be able to lift a bunch of weight on my back. I want to be able to push a bunch of weight with my arms, and I want to get out there and be able to run a 5K in under 25 minutes. That's the goal. And I think whether you're starting from 0 or whether you're starting from this amazing triathlete that's out there, the Ironman, again, it's about encompassing all of it.
Yeah, so something that we teach in our office, it's called Max T3, and it really utilizes the principles of high intensity interval training, and that targets a few specific hormones. It targets your cortisol, human growth hormone, and then also, like you talked about before, is your testosterone. There's this whole thing that we have, which is fight or flight, right? And you get stressed out, so your cortisol levels raise, and you're not meant to be stressed out for your whole entire day or your week or your month, but that's the reality is that's how most people live their life. So going and working out will help lower your cortisol levels. It'll help actually increase your human growth hormones, which will actually help you burn fat in the long run. The high intensity interval trainings that we specifically teach in our office, and not negating anything else, but what that's going to do is it actually has like an up to a 36-hour fat burning afterburn. So you could literally go work out for 12 minutes at your highest intensity, and then go back home and sleep, and the next day, even into that, you're going to be getting the benefits of burning fat. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was into CrossFit for a long time, and there's this workout called Fran, and it's a flagship workout for CrossFit, and it's literally, for me, it only took 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And basically, it's a bunch of pull-ups and it's a bunch of squat thrusts with about, I think it's a 135 or 95 pounds on each. You're lifting 95 pounds from the floor to over your head. And you do it 21, 15, and 9 for both of those things. And at the end of it, you're literally on the floor. But as you're on the floor, you're breathing. You're getting oxygen into your blood, right? You literally can't move. The first time I did it, I actually threw up because of the amount of stuff that was happening in my body, just kind of purging it. But as I got more efficient with it, right, my body learned how to create the testosterone and decrease the cortisol. And you're literally laying there for the next 15 minutes sometimes recovering. And during that recovery phase is really where the magic happens, with working out. And like she said, the next 24 to 48 hours, you're getting benefit from that type of high intensity workout. Now, I don't recommend doing that every single day of your life. Maybe twice a month, that high intensity where you're on the floor and you can't move. You know, for me, I do these sprints now, so I'm not lifting weights while I'm doing this, but I'm going 200 meters as fast as I can 6 times. And at the end of the fourth 200 meter, I'm on the floor like that as well. And then I got to get up and do it again, because again, there's so many different things that happen in your body chemically, and it's so beneficial for you.
Yeah, so, you know, with the Max T3 that we teach, one thing I commonly hear is, I did 2 of the workouts today. And if you're able to do 2 of those workouts, you're doing it wrong. Because what those are designed to do, yes, they're only 12 minutes long, but you should be literally out of breath, sweating, can't move, can't do anything, can't even think about doing another exercise because you've put that much effort into it. So just because it's a short amount of time doesn't get you off the hook of being as intense as you should be. And so I want to just, you know, consistency is key. Consistency and congruency is just pushing that effort, that max effort that you have. You should be going at about 90% of your max effort for those 12 minutes to ensure that you are doing what you need to do, getting the benefits that you need to get. Because if you just run in place like this, it's not going to do anything unless that is your max effort. Like some people, walking like this is going to be your max effort. But then there's other people that you need to do a sprint in place to have your max effort go on. And some people, you know, it's doing push-ups against the wall, but some people need to do clapping push-ups. You know, it just depends on where you're at. And don't ever compare yourself to the person next to you, because I know I can't lift as much weight as you. I know you're faster than me. I know that. But if I'm giving my best effort and my focused intention, then that's when I'm going to get the best benefits from that.
So let's go through specifically what benefit exercise and motion has to deal with maximize mind, maximize nerve supply, maximize quality of nutrition, maximize oxygen, lean muscle, minimize toxins. So let's start with maximize mind. What types of things will motion, lifting weights, sprinting, whatever it is, help with your mindset?
Yeah, you know, there's studies out there that they talk about how, you know, exercise and depression, and there's a huge link, and you can even go into anxiety and all that kind of stuff, but when you look at that, there's neurotransmitters that are released. There's, again, the cortisol is changing. There's endorphins. Those are the feel-good hormones that are released. So even when you don't feel like going to work out, as soon as there's a saying where you never have a bad workout when you're done. So it's just sometimes just getting started and going through that, because then it shifts your whole mindset. Because again, it's going to that whole principle of you've accomplished something. Even if it's just, I'm going to just do 100 squats right now. I don't feel like moving. I don't feel like doing anything. But I'm going to overcome that and be the person that jumps through that hurdle. And that's another mindset shift into that. And so, so again, it's the endorphins, it's the neurotransmitters. And then it's also changing the some of the hormones that come out for your immune system. So it's boosting your immune system to allow you to heal and function and think clearly and go through that.
Have you ever not wanted to work out?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, so for me, I was in a funk this morning, just to be completely transparent. Woke up kind of just like with the cloud over my head, and like just things weren't going well. And I literally forced myself, Dr. Kalie texted me this morning, we were kind of having a conversation back and forth, forced myself to get my gym clothes on and get to the gym. And I walked out of there a completely different person. There's a lot of things that go into that, but you know, like I said, movement is the key to life. And if you've got this stagnant aura about you, get moving, you know. It also has with mindset, if you're getting a lot of headaches and you constantly get things like migraines or tension headaches, it's probably because your cerebral spinal fluid is not moving in your head, right? It can't get through. And I was listening to a podcast this morning, and they said that C1 is shifted like this, and that's literally causing the cerebral spinal fluid to back up. And as you start to move, and even we'll talk about this at the end, adjustments, but movement as well helps that stuff get through. And they've done MRIs or brain scans after you've exercised, and a gray brain turned into a brain that was firing, because again, all of the things that are happening during exercise.
So number 2 is Maximize nerve supply. Had a brain fart.
Maximize nerve supply.
Maximize nerve supply. So one thing I want to encourage you guys, especially if you're patients and you have your spinal rehab equipment, always when you wake up in the morning to just jump on that red wobble disc, because that's going to get the discs rehydrated. It's going to get your juices flowing. I think it's just what you should do right away in the morning. But more specifically too, it should be done before and after you work out, so that we can make sure that you're maintaining your spinal health and know that again, there's pressure off your brainstem, your spinal cord, and your nerve roots, because again, those are the most important areas in your spine. So how else does it affect your spine, your nervous system, and things like that?
There's a thing called proprioception, and basically if I can stand on this and do this, that's your proprioception, meaning that you're better at balancing. And my toes right now are firing. You can't see me, but I'm standing on one foot, and my toes in the right foot is firing all the way up back and forth to my brain. So it just helps with balance, and that helps with also coordination throughout life. It stops you from falling, especially if you're older or you're prone to that stuff. But again, it helps with coordination. And again, we were meant to move.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Number 3.
Maximize quality nutrition.
There's a saying that says you can't outwork crappy eating habits. So it also says that a six-pack is not made in the gym, it's made in the kitchen. And so we want to just make sure that you're putting the proper fuel in there. You know, we've talked about this before, but we are huge advocates of the keto diet. And you know, one thing that we teach here in our office as well is the advanced plan and the core plan. So if you're going through changes, if you're working on, you know, totally flipping your health script right now, you know, looking into the core plan, but jumping into the advanced plan, we have an amazing 28-day challenge that we've seen people lose 20 plus pounds in just 28 days while they're going through that program, which includes the Max T3 that we teach in the office as well. But it's really focusing on limiting your grains, because grains turn into sugar, sugar turns into inflammation, sugar gets stored into fat. We want to limit or eliminate sugars as well. Dairy is borderline. It depends on where you're at with everything. And then, yeah, just really increasing your fat intake. And when I mean increase, it's way more than you think you should be having. Like when you thought you've had enough, you should probably eat about 3 more avocados.
Yeah. So also specifically, how does movement help with nutrition? You know, if you can't digest your food, then it doesn't matter what you eat, because you're not getting the nutrients into your cells, tissues, and organs. And the longer that happens, the more diseased tissue builds in the body. So there's a thing called peristalsis in your abdomen and in your digestive system, and that's basically what moves your food through the entire intestines. And what can you do to help that movement? Well, I was doing them today. I was doing crunches and ab workout and getting that stuff going. And once I start people in the office doing that, they have a huge improvement in their movement.
We got
Not just this type of movement, but number 2 movement as well. And again, I think that the amount of quality of your number 2 bathroom, right? You're going number 2, the quality of that is directly correlating with the quality of your health. And if your digestion is off, then everything else is off. It affects up is good. That's why you have those mirrors that are in your bathroom. You can't see from here down. If you want to lose weight from here down, you've got to get your lymph moving. And movement through exercise creates transitory chemicals to go through that lymph system and flush it out completely. And then you sweat it out through your skin and eliminate it through your waste. So again, movement helps the digestive system tremendously. And couple that with what Dr. Kalie talked about right before this, it helps with everything.
Yeah, you know, we're going to talk about the next thing is minimizing toxins, and that goes hand in hand with exactly what you're talking about with the bowel movements, really, because when you start to lose weight, what you're doing is you're literally releasing toxins, because toxins get stored in fat cells. So if you have an excess amount of fat cells in your body, there's more and more toxins building up, which is why it's harder and harder and harder for you to work out. And then you start to feel sluggish, and that's when the funk starts to build in more consistently and consecutively in those days. And so having those nice bowel movements is helping to release those toxins But then also we have the component of sweating and the component of, holding your breath while you're doing different exercises and then getting the good oxygen to come back in there. So maybe just talk about how our skin is an amazing organ that's just detoxing and doing all kinds of great stuff for us.
Yeah, we've learned since, 6th grade that your skin is your largest organ. Yes, it's constantly working for you and detoxing you. And it's breathing and it's absorbing and it's eliminating. All of these things that we don't even think about what skin does. So you got to make sure that you keep this thing called your skin healthy, and movement helps you do that as well. It just helps keep that, it keeps it regenerating more than somebody that's sedentary and not moving at all. It helps, again, the blood flow, get more blood and oxygen to the skin cells, and it helps regenerate it much faster.
I think that's good stuff for the detox components. So I just want to go into some questions. I was thinking while you were talking how, some people have said, or I've heard them say, why do you work out? You're already fit.
Are you liking this?
Yeah. Bing.
Are you liking this? Like it and share it for us, please, so we can get this message out to as many people as we can.
The good stuff's coming up right now.
Keep going.
Get your friends in here. So back to my question was, why do you work out if you're already fit? You don't need to lose weight. You don't need to work out. I think that's a common misconception of what working out is all about.
I'm very hard on my body. I see a lot of people here, and it's not just like I'm sitting at a desk all day. I'm going back and forth from table to table, sometimes 100, 200 people a day that I have to bend over and adjust. And then, again, the reason why I work out is not to look good in a bathing suit. That's a great side effect, but more importantly, it's for me to function better, right? Because what we do is all about function. And we've got to make sure that we understand that, yes, we want you to look great, but more importantly, I want you running down the beach with your grandchildren. I want you to be able to cognitively think about things that are happening at work and work through them more efficiently. So again, function and efficiency is what we do here when we talk about high intensity, short duration exercises, running, lifting weights, all of this stuff. I don't do it to look good, although it's great, right? It's a great side effect. I do it to function better. I think that's where you were going with that.
Yes, yeah, because, I think that there's people out there that don't work out and they like to slam people that do work out, and especially if you already are really fit, they like to throw in the, you're fit, you don't need to do this. So it's not about getting fit. We always say health isn't about how you feel or how you look, but in some cases, there is a sense of once you start getting your function down, I want you guys to feel good. I want you guys to be looking good, because in that realm, you feel good, and it's a great experience I had to be a part of. And there's a difference between Dr. James obviously has some pretty big muscles, where I have a little bit more leaner muscles. Doesn't mean that he's stronger than me in some aspects. Yes, he probably can lift a lot more than I can.
Yes,
but it's not about the size of your muscles, right? And some people I know have come into the office, and especially the guys, and they want to have big muscles, but they also want to lose weight. Do you think that there's a certain kind of sequence of events that need to happen before you start building big muscles? Like, should you lose the weight first and then start building muscles, or can you do like high intensity interval trainings and some heavy weights, or where
when
that?
we work with a lot of females, especially, and they want to lose 20 pounds, and we put them on the entire program, not just the food, not just the diet plan or the core or advanced plan. We put them on the exercise, we put them on the adjustment schedule, we put them on everything. They actually gain weight but lose fat. So again, muscle weighs more than fat, and it can be very tricky, and that's why it's not about losing weight. It's about understanding that all of these 5 essentials encompasses each other. And if you do them, and do them consistently, about 95% of the time, your body will get to the point where God intended it to be, right? Low fat, high muscle, and very oxygenated. And that's going to be an efficient, fat-burning, fueling machine that we're meant to have.
Awesome. Another question I have.
What's up?
So you go to the big box gyms, or any gym really, you see people walking around with those shaker bottles with the lime green drinks, or the pink drinks, or those workout drinks.
Yeah.
I don't, and you may, I don't even know if you do or don't, but I don't believe that you do drink those things.
I did.
Used to.
Yes.
So maybe you can speak into that in a second. But can you tell us maybe, you know, I know that those things are full of chemicals and full of really high sugars, and they're designed to make you have a boost of energy to go work out and go lift big muscles and get big. But what's the benefits of switching to keto and using fat for your fuel rather than having to take those supplements and those drinks and that kind of
So
stuff?
those supplements people take, like the pre-workout drinks, I used to take one every day. Sometimes I used to take it when I woke up just to get up because I was addicted to the caffeine, and that's a whole completely different story. So I had to kind of go cold turkey. It was also making me mentally cuckoo in la cabeza, crazy. You know, I can't do stimulants, just to let you know, because they just, you know, I get addicted to them. Coffee, that's why I drink tea now. I haven't drank coffee in like 5 years because of the amount of caffeine. I would drink a pot in the morning and a pot at night and go through Starbucks and drink quad espressos twice a day. So that's 8 shots of espresso. So again, I can't do stimulants. I do tea. It does not. I do. I do.
He does do
drink
too.
tea because I just love it, and it doesn't affect me like those other stimulants do. But where was I going with this? Those pre-workout drinks, again, they're filled with sugars. They're filled with caffeine. So those are artificially giving you that energy. And it's a different type of fuel. And when we talk about keto fuel, when we want to get into the keto burning, fat burning machine that we've created with ourselves, then you don't get those highs and lows. You don't get those food cravings. You don't have the blood sugar crash when you're done with it. And you can go into a workout and have efficient fuel burning throughout the entire time that you're there. And I used to do CrossFit again, and we've got to really be careful with our adrenal glands. What happens with caffeine, what happens with sugar is your adrenal glands and your insulin levels get spiked. And when that happens, you burn them out over time. So you have to continue. And that's why I was addicted to the sugar and the caffeine, because I had to continue to take that stuff over time. Now it's been about 3 months that I've been on this keto diet. And again, my energy levels are just completely level. Except for this weekend, I went off of a little bit. And yesterday was pretty much hell because I had to get back into it. And today I'm feeling now that I'm back into that levelness, I guess. Is that a word?
Yes.
Good.
So even for me, like I got into doing triathlons. We ran a half marathon in February this year. And, you know, one of the big things in that sport community is the gel packets and the all this stuff. And it's the same thing as the pre-workout energy drinks. And it's you have these gel packets. And basically it's like gooey sugar that you just shove into your mouth. And to be honest with you, like when we did that half marathon, I was afraid to do that because we just don't put that much sugar into our body. And I didn't train that way, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And you know, one thing too is when I was doing even the triathlons and things like that too, people were all over, you know, squirting that stuff down, and I wanted to just have like an avocado if I could just, you know, eat an avocado quick. So that's a benefit of switching into something like the keto diet or the advanced plan, is really shifting the type of fuel that your body's using. And you don't, like he said, you don't have those crashes. Because I remember when you were taking, you know, the pre-exercise stuff, you know, by the time you got to the office, you were worn out and tired and couldn't figure out why your muscles were you were so fatigued. And it was like, well, you know.
Yeah, and also my joints were breaking. Literally, I had a tendon snap in my wrist, and I could literally see the muscle roll up because I wasn't getting the nutrients. And again, when we talk about osteoporosis and things like that, this is also good for your bones as well. Longevity over time. Why do people lose their bone density? Well, because they haven't used it. And, you know, the gymnasts have the highest bone density that there is. So if you're worried about osteoporosis, don't be supplementing with calcium. You've got to be loading your body with weight. And even if it's just like she's doing right now, just bouncing on a trampoline or bouncing off and landing and coming back on, that load-bearing impact will help your bone density more than any calcium pill. Actually, calcium pills cause more inflammation that destroy your bones even further. So it's just a snowball effect that happens with that.
Yeah, and that's even going into the topic really quick, like drinking milk to have strong bones. The milk is at such a high acid level that it actually leaches your bones of the bone material to get that back into, to get the positivity back into the bloodstream. So it's actually doing the opposite effect of what they're marketing for you to, in that Got Milk campaign, if you really go and research that stuff. So exercise is the key to building strong bones. And you know, in order to get change, you have to do change. You have to take action. You know, we can't work out for you guys. We talk about this principle all the time. You've got to just, you know, I don't want you to go and, I want you to, if you've never worked out before, I want you to start doing something that you know you'll enjoy. Like, if you hate running, like, don't sign up for a half marathon, because it's not going to happen. You're going to quit 2 months into it and hate everything about working out. So start slow. Go get into a burst training class. Get our Max T3 videos. Get online and get those. We have, again, our challenge ninjas. We have an amazing program that we're developing, and it's in a working progress, but you know, monthly challenges that we do with a community all over the United States and hopefully the world. But become a part of a community that's going to push you forward and make sure that you're making a difference, because essentially this is for you. This is for your health. This is for your life, and we just want you to have the best experience that you can have while you're here on this earth. And I promise you, like, when you're fit, when you're healthy, your experience is a lot different than when you're sick and you're suffering and you're hurting.
Love it. So hey, let's go over some things that people do as a result of exercising. So they reward themselves.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna go run 6 miles, and then I'm gonna stop off and Dunkin' Donuts and get a box of, or what is that other place, Krispy Kreme. Get some donuts, or I'm going to go eat a cheeseburger and some french fries, and I just ran a half marathon, so I'm going to just load myself back up.
Unless you're Michael Phelps, it's not okay to eat an entire pizza after. It's not even okay for him.
Ever.
But it's not okay to do that consistently. Like, we had somebody here that was running just to eat donuts at the end of the day, and that's not really what this is about. That's not going to create function over time. It's about function over time, right? We're here to fuel your body, we're here to move the body, and we're here to make sure the body is functioning. And that's going to give you that body for the rest of your life. We're going to add life to your years, not just years to your life. So again, what other things do you see people kind of self-limiting beliefs about exercise?
Again, too, like, if you want to just go into the cosmetic part of it, of I'm going to work out really hard for a month and a half, and just because I want to lose weight and get into the bathing suit for vacation. That's again developing your big why of why you want to do these things, why you want to get up in the morning and go exercise and develop your routine. Because if it's just to do that, I promise you that you will fail. And that's not just me saying that. It's been proven time and time again by myself and by patients and by friends and family. So it's got to be for a bigger picture of, we do this because of our health. We do this because we want to live here for a long time and have the best experiences. So it's not limiting yourself and just looking good. I think that's just, we've got a big event coming up and people are talking about getting on this diet and losing this weight and doing this and doing that. And it's like, that's great, but what is your life going to look like after that event? Like, is it all going to go to just shambles, or is this turning into a lifestyle for you that you want to recreate something in your heart and in your mind and in your soul that just becomes a part of you? Like, you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth. I wake up in the morning and I now make my bed. It's become a part of me. So it's just something that you've got to develop and strengthen over time.
I think the word she's using is prioritize, right? When people say I don't have time, it's really, they do have time, they just haven't prioritized something like working out for 12 minutes a day, or even if it's 45 minutes a day. I guarantee you, if I followed you around, I could find those minutes and to implement these types of things that we talk about every day. It's just got to make sure that you're utilizing your time wisely, and that time management segment is maybe something we did last time. I think
we could get more specific.
Yeah, we could get more specific on how to actually plan your day out and work plan. But if you tell me you don't have time to exercise, I don't care who it is, whether you've got 10 minutes on a lunch break, whether you've got 10 minutes before you go to bed, whether you've got 10 minutes right when you wake up in the morning, I guarantee you I can find 10 minutes during your day to make you the most lean, healthy person on this planet if you do it consistently over time.
Now, real quick, if somebody is a bodybuilder and getting big, do you think it would be wise for them to implement a little bit of the Max T3 or the high intensity interval stuff?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because again, it's all about the testosterone, And for me, I do twice a week. I do the high intensity stuff. And I used to do it much more than that, but I'm doing a program right now, and my goal, it depends on what your goal is, I guess. My goal is to stay right about where I am right now, maybe gain a little bit more muscle. I don't want to become huge and where I can't walk. I want to be able to function still, but I still want to add more muscle and decrease some of the fat that I have on me. There is some, actually, okay? My goal is to get under 9% body fat. I'm about 10.5 right now. So wherever you are, if you want to lose fat, I would suggest making sure that you're doing the high intensity, short duration exercises 5 to 6 days a week, and I still want you to do the load-bearing exercises at least 2 to 3 days a week.
Can we talk about someone who's never worked out before? Where do you start? How do you get moving? What do you do?
Just go. It's been said before that if you can't if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl,
flat.
Roll over.
We messed it up.
I think you got it, right? If you can't run, right? If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. If you can't crawl, then roll over. Get moving. That's our point here, I think. I hope you guys get that out there, is that whatever it is you need to do, get moving. Some people have injury to their knees. They can't run. They can't lift weights. Well, there's a pool out there that will take most of the gravity off of that joint, and you can use your upper body, and it's something that I implement every single week of my life, at least for 15 minutes. That's when I do the sprints in the pool as well. So become creative. And this is with anything that you do. My goal in life is if I see something that's blocking me from doing something, that I create a door out of a wall so I can walk through that thing. And it just depends on if you truly want to prioritize this stuff in your life. And again, that war planning helps so much.
And it also does not take, people think it takes fancy equipment and fancy shoes and fancy workout clothes and a fancy gym membership. You can literally go outside in your driveway and get an amazing workout in with zero equipment. I'm a huge fan of using no equipment, and I sometimes I'll use the bike and I'll use the rower and I'll go for some runs, but typically I'm out in my driveway or down in my basement just using what God already gave me to make sure that I can get a good exercise in there. I'm a huge fan of that stuff, so it doesn't take equipment.
Let's do an example.
What do you want to do?
I got some tight jeans on here, so let's just let's do 25 squats as fast as we can.
All right.
Okay, now remember, don't do this cold. We've worked out, we've done some stuff here, but we're going to do 25 squats, butt to the floor, as fast as we can.
Ready?
And go. Five, 4, 3, and that's 25.
So we just did 25, and I'm already feeling my heart's going, getting some sweat starting to come out there. Breathing's obviously changed a little bit. So it doesn't take much, but again, we were going all out. Tight jeans, not the right shoes, not the right equipment, not in the right place. It didn't stop us, right? So don't let that stop you. If you've got 10 minutes, if you've got 3 minutes, if you've got 5 minutes, get up and do something.
If you're out in the waiting room right now in our chiropractic office and you haven't worked out today, get up there and do 25 squats.
It's calling you out.
Listen, if we can do that right now in 25 seconds times 3, right? Sometimes that's all you need to do during the day. And again, I can already feel my brain becoming more turned on, quote unquote. So again, exercise is key. Movement is the key to life. Once you stop moving, you start dying. You don't move it, you lose it. And these things are wisdom of the ages, and they ring true still today. So whether it's functional fitness, whether it's CrossFit, whether it's high intensity, short duration exercises like we just implemented with you today here just now, right? 25 seconds, 25 squats. Trying to do that 4 or 5 times after you've kind of come back to resting heart rate. This will help everything. It's going to help your cognition. It's going to help your spinal hygiene, getting the cerebral spinal fluid through the entire body. It's going to help your nervous system function better. It's going to help digestion. It's going to help your oxygen and lean muscle, and it's also going to help detox your body. It encompasses it all.
Awesome, guys. Thank you for watching. If you are looking at us right now, like it, share it. We have a ton of people that need to get this information that don't know where to start. You could be their answer. And we always just want to be that output. You know, we have tea time with the judges every Tuesday morning or every Tuesday at noon. And then we also have 5 Essential Fridays. Again, a reminder that these are going on to podcasts. So they're on iTunes, and I believe for the Androiders out there, it's in Castbox. You can just search Tea Time with the judges, and it'll come up. All of our 5 Essential Fridays is coming on there. Like it, share it, become part of our tribe, go do 25 squats, and we love you.
Tea
Have
Time
a blessed
out.
day. Peace.